Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 6 of the Holistic True Wealth series in collaboration with Mupo TV, part of Mupo Entertainment. As the CEO and founder of Abundance and Optimum Wellness and a certified holistic wellness coach, I am of the belief we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. As a certified holistic coach today, I take a finance-first approach to achieving all-encompassing personal well-being by embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world. And by exploring diverse paths opens the door to true wealth in every sense. As a global ambassador for an innovative company revolutionizing the future of real estate through digital technology, I'm deeply committed to empowering individuals and communities worldwide. My mission goes beyond business by providing global-minded entrepreneurs with new ways to true wealth in the modern world so they can circumvent the system and go from financial fatigue to financial freedom. It's about creating opportunities, providing access, and building a more inclusive and supportive digital world where everyone has the chance to thrive. True wealth is not only about money, it's a combination of the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial fitnesses. Myself and my special guests are all about bringing awareness around alternative solutions from all aspects, leading one towards a path to overall true wealth. The mission: provide real solutions for real people who are serious about wanting to go from barely surviving to thriving again. This picture I'm bringing up, I was in New Jersey in July of 2024. I attended the Mupo Entertainment Red Carpet event for the second time. And because of all of you, I am humbly have received my second award for the Best Holistic True Wealth TV series. I'm extremely appreciative to my family, my friends, my followers, and supporters during this incredible journey. If you'd like to access my digital marketing brochure, scan the QR code that is on the screen. So before I bring my special guest up today, and for those of you that are interested, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but you can also find this interview series in collaboration with Mupo Entertainment and MupoTV.com, or you can download the Android or the iOS app. We're also seen on Fire TV, Roku, Vimeo. We're seen in 144 countries. So with that, we'll be right back with my very special guest. And we are back with Teresa Palmer, who is coming to us from Alabama. Teresa's married. She's the mom of their dog, Lucky. She's a heart entrepreneur, a nurse practitioner, specifically a holistic cardiology nurse who approaches health and well-being from a whole person perspective. I believe that chronic stress is a health crisis, is what she believes in. And I believe that too, coming from where I am in the last 8 years with holistic wellness. The more personally empowered you, the better you're able to manage stress. Teresa loves to travel, particularly volunteering in medical missions. Welcome, Teresa, to Holistic True Wealth.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So before we dive into the questions, share a little bit about who Teresa is outside of being a health professional.
Okay, who am I besides being a healthcare professional? The first thing I would say is I think we're all a combination of so many things, but sometimes we get stuck on particular labels or something particular of what we do. And then it's hard when that label gets taken away or we change something to move on to something else. So what I would say is that I'm a person who's very creative, who is curious,
Mhm.
and my health as a healthcare professional, I like to help people. And I would say that I'm a person that believes that we're all interconnected with each other, that we're connected to everything, everybody, not only on this earth, but the universe. And it's very vast. And I think at this point, we have no idea what lies beyond just
Oh,
what we know in our own,
absolutely.
you want to call it territory or atmosphere. So I think curiosity, an interest in helping people. I'm a writer. Um, I love tennis and pickleball. So those are the things that I think
Good.
all are incorporated in my personality of what I do.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with the audience. So, what was the inspiration for you getting into the healthcare profession?
It goes way, way back. It has to do with when I was about 8 or 9 years old. My favorite uncle, who was Uncle John, but we called each other Boots. And I'm not even sure why we did that. But he suffered a heart attack. And at
Oh,
the time, he was probably in his late 40s, early 50s. And
mhm.
I remember him being able to heal from that heart attack. And he was in the hospital, and I remember things were pretty serious. And he wanted to get well. And I remember him expressing that he was going to get well, that this was just a bump in the road for him. And especially, he told me not to worry. He said, "Don't worry, I'm going to come through this." And he did. He
Awesome.
through it. He was fine. So that piqued my interest in the heart and also how we could heal, but I wasn't sure how that fit in. Then when I
Sure.
was older, one of my aunt's sister actually, was an executive in nursing. And she introduced me to nursing. And I was kind of a toss up between nursing. Did I want to be a nurse? Did I want to be a doctor? And I wanted a path that I could be able to take care of myself if and when I needed to, be able to help people. And medicine was kind of a long path at that point, so I opted for the nursing. So that's how I got interested in healthcare. I also had an interest in spirituality, Eastern medicine, and that progressed as of 2004. So,
Awesome. Well, that's great. Yeah, I have medical professionals in my family. Unfortunately, my uncle, my mother's brother, who ended up, well, he started the Norfolk, Virginia ambulance service back in the day. I used to go down there as a kid, ride in the ambulance for a couple weeks in the summer. He ended up becoming a doctor, ER doctor, and unfortunately, he passed of a massive heart attack at 48. So you just never know, and it's just sad. It's just really sad. So, with that, you've had quite the journey working in the traditional healthcare system for many, many years, but you were seeing something a little different that didn't resonate with your own heart. Can you share that with the viewers that journey and then that the reality of what you saw and was kind of rethinking this and where you are today?
yeah, I would say I've worked in traditional healthcare, for over 30 years. Most of my work was done in cardiology. It still is. And I think for me, what I saw that was missing was I always felt there was a disconnect between the person and the health condition. And I hate to use the term illness because to me, illness it designates that we're hopeless and we're not. There's always something we could
Correct.
do to help
Mhm.
ourselves. So
Yep.
what I saw was that disconnect. I used to joke with some of my patients because they would have diabetes, heart disease, different things, and they would say, Oh, I don't know how this happened. I woke up one morning and I was diabetic. No, you didn't wake up one morning and become diabetic. It was a long process, but a process that people weren't involved in. And by that, I mean there was this separation that here I am, here illness or disease is over here. And just like a common cold or like a flu, we happen to catch that.
Right.
And that's not true. It's true with a common cold or a flu, but it's not true with the more chronic illness. And it's more about us, not only our lifestyle, but a lot about our inner landscape, what
Sure.
we believe, how we act. And that was where I saw the big disconnect. I have to say, when I got into it, into cardiology, I have to say, yeah, I was into a lot of the technology. I worked with a huge teaching hospital. I was their first acute nurse practitioner. I was the first one to do cardiac surgery. There was a lot of accolades that went with that. And I was
Mm.
told that I was the healer. This is what we were told. Whoever practiced, the surgeon, you're the healer.
Right.
I
Right.
had the opportunity to go to Romania on a medical mission, and that all changed. Because number one, what I knew and all my skills and all my technology meant nothing because this was a country that wasn't as far advanced. So what
Mm.
I was seeing was real people with health concerns, but
Right.
they were helping themselves. There wasn't the amount of medications that we have here. There wasn't the
Right.
technology, and yet people did well. And I had to change my thinking of they're doing well and they're contributing to their health care. So that's the missing piece. And when
Yes.
I came back to the States, I started incorporating a more holistic approach to health, getting people more involved with their health, still using the traditional healthcare system because, there are things that we definitely need.
Absolutely.
Healthcare system is good, but now incorporating the person into it and how could you change and what could you do to help yourself in this situation. So that's where I've been for 24 out of 30 some years in practice.
Awesome. That's great. And holistic is so important to be incorporating that today as part of the journey. I bash Western medicine to a certain point, but I always let them know that there is a time and a place for the technologies, the amazing technologies that they have developed to date that does help, and which is great because you know what? If I'm passing a kidney stone, give me that morphine because I don't want to go through that pain. But I didn't need to be on metformin for 25 years, and it's all about learning how to, work and understand your body temple to feeding it what it really needs.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick, short commercial break. As I mentioned in the very beginning, I am a global ambassador with a very, very innovative company that is now getting global recognition in regards to new ways to financial wealth and financial fitness. So we'll be right back with Teresa Palmer. Okay, we are back with Teresa. So for those that don't know that are watching, Teresa and I actually met through the Own It magazine with Marisa, and we've had quite the journey. And we're on many podcasts with Marisa, and I know that Teresa is now involved with Phoenix Fitness magazine. So so we're fellow contributing writers to these two amazing magazines that provide a tremendous amount of value to the readers. And so what has this experience, what has this been like for you, and why would you recommend looking for those entrepreneurs or even those individuals who want to share their story and get their message out? Because there are a lot of people looking, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they're looking for that message that will give them that hope. What would you have to say about that, Teresa?
What I would say first off, that as authors, as writers, as speakers, for us, it's all about the message. It's not about us. It's about the message
Exactly.
that we give. And we all have our own gifts and we all bring different things to the table. And that's one of the things I like about working with the magazine is that it is an all-inclusive, holistic approach to self-development, to life, to health. And it gives me the opportunity to reach an audience that is interested in this holistic life approach to things and to make them more, not, I shouldn't say make, but to give them the opportunity to
Right.
explore more the concept of health consciousness, of being aware of their heart and, the power that our heart holds for us in our everyday life. With regard
Absolutely.
to Phoenix Fitness, I'm I feel that I bring a spiritual approach to what could have even be considered at one point more traditional external diet,
Mhm.
exercise. I kind of
Right.
incorporate that internal changing and enhancing your internal landscape, looking to yourself. And I think that's so important because we're entering into more than a decade, probably about 25 years of
Mhm.
a new way of being. Um,
Right.
Astrology, Pluto is entering Aquarius, which brings a whole different type of thing. We've been in a place where we've looked to the outside, we've looked to more social conditioning, and I think over
Right.
the next 25 years, we're going to be asked to look more to ourselves, and we're going to realize how much potential we have. And anybody who would be willing to contribute, look at what gifts you have and how you could bring that message to other people. And I think
Absolutely.
both magazines are just really good because there's so many contributors from so many walks of life, and it's all inclusive.
Absolutely, and that's great. We need to get back to the old sciences that were there before. These chemically produced medicines, so forth and so on. That's a talk for another story. But I want to lead in with this. Are you tired of quick fixes that do not work? Do you look to others for the answers? Do you doubt your ability to make the decisions that serve your highest good? And this leads into here is Teresa's published book titled Heal Your Heart from Within. Teresa, please share with our viewers because there's so many amazing chapters in this book, but share about your chapter around the heart has a brain, understanding the mind body connection.
Yes, definitely. Our heart does have a brain. And I don't think a lot of people really think about that or may not understand it because we've been so in our heads that we're always taught to be logical, the brain, to make decisions. And yes, the brain is important, but do you know the messages and our emotions go through our heart first? And it's our heart that helps us determine what the reaction is. So if we bypass our heart, when there's good emotions, it goes straight to the brain. Okay, we're happy. That's fine. But what about the more challenging times? What about things like emotions that we're not that happy with, that have some challenges or fear or anxiety? What do we do with that? If we bypass our heart and go straight to our brain says that we're in trouble. It thinks that physically we have a problem. And it sends out the stress hormones, epinephrine, norepinephrine, cortisol, which wreak havoc with our body. And that's what stress is all about. The release of these hormones, the losing control of us. When you process emotions first through your heart, the first question you ask yourself, am I in physical danger? And if you're not, sit with those emotions. And the heart has this capacity to help us sit, to use our inner knowing, which we develop again through our heart. That's what I call the heart consciousness. And then from there, we could take the time to make decisions. The heart actually has clusters, it has more neuroreceptors than the brain does. And a lot of people don't know that either. So, our heart is really our first protection. And these neuroreceptors in the heart actually serve to protect the heart, actually serve to keep us in the inner peace and calm, which is that stress free environment. And we know that stress accounts for at least 70 to 80% of chronic illness.
Absolutely.
Stress wreaks havoc with everything in our body. And in order to heal, a body in balance is able to heal. And there's no mystery about it. You know, when you talk about self healing, a lot of times people get afraid of that. They think it's some sort of magic, but it's not. It's really a body in balance, allowing your body to do what it needs to do and how it needs to do it. It's no different than allowing your car to function the way it needs to function, everything
Right.
from starting up to going down the road. So when we look to our heart and we look to that heart, that mind body connection. Because once we get the heart in order by taking in the emotions, sitting with them, and actually saying, what does this mean? You may get the answer right away. It may take a few days to get the answer. But
Right.
now you're getting the heart and the brain on the same page. And when you do that, then you're able to use your body and your mind to its best advantage, not only to make decisions, but to be in charge of your life. And we are the co creators of our life. But I think we often dismiss that because, again, we're kind of socially conditioned to say, this person out there knows this, I could turn to this person for this. When really we have all the answers within us. We're just not used to sitting with those things and really processing through our heart. So it's been around for a long time. I can remember about maybe close to 20 years ago, I did a radio program, Armand DeMille of the Positive Mind at WBAI in New York. I worked with him at the radio station, and he was my mentor. And we did a program on the heart has brain. And it was a program at the time that was kind of new because everybody was thinking the brain was where it was at. And now you're looking 20 years later where it's now becoming more acceptable that we look to our heart and what
Absolutely.
heart consciousness.
Yeah. No, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. So Heal Your Heart from Within really gives you the tools for our listeners, gives you the tools to embark on the journey of healing and healing the heart and ignite the spark within for self-healing to occur. So learn how to be guided to heartfelt healing by Teresa Palmer, Holistic Cardiology Nurse. This book is available on Amazon. And we're coming up on the 30 minutes here. Just share very quickly while Teresa shares this, in the scrolling banner below is how you can reach out to Teresa on Facebook. But if there was one nugget, one piece of advice or encouragement that you could provide our viewers who are out there looking for hope because they are sick and tired of being sick and tired and want to level up in their personal, their professional, or both of their lives, what would that be?
The best piece of advice I could give anybody, actually, it's two short pieces of advice. There's always something you can do to help yourself, regardless of the condition, the situation, and get to know yourself. And by that, I mean sitting quietly with yourself or taking a walk in nature, but spend time, start to work with your heart, with that connection, with that inner knowing, that heart consciousness, and co-create your life, because you are in charge of not only your health and well-being, but you are in charge of your life. And I could also be reached at my website, wellbeinggal.com, one word.
Can you say that again for the audience, please?
Sure. Wellbeing Gal. It's WELLBEINGGAL.com. It's all one word, and that's my website.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, with that, thank you, Teresa, for coming on today. You provided some really great information. As we're wrapping up, I mentioned that at the beginning, I'm a global ambassador for an international real estate fractional ownership, digital ownership company. We've opened up in the US market here. And if you're interested in becoming educated around holistic financial fitness, because guess what? Finances are the number one stressor globally today. I have monthly workshops talking about decentralization, real world assets, digital real estate ownership. Scan the QR code that's on your screen. And I do 3 group workshops per month. And I also have an option for people who can't make the scheduled group calls for a private one-on-one. And I'm educating those people who are looking at what's happening today in technology that is going to change the future in 3 to 5 to 10 years plus down the road. You don't want to miss out on being a pioneer with this, because things are happening today and you're going to find out about them down the road. And I'm sharing that today. So remember this, I always of the belief that we should be living in abundance and optimum wellness, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And holistic true wealth is about balance, and it's about harmony across the disciplines I embrace and those that I teach. It's about creating a life that is rich in experiences, relationships, knowledge, and person. And by embracing this holistic approach, we can achieve a state of well-being that is sustainable and fulfilling, leading us to living our best lives. And finally, holistic mental and financial fitness is a new path to really embracing true wealth. So with that, well, thank you again, Teresa. Really very humbled that you were able to take the time today and speak to my audience. And we'll see you on the inside next time.
You thought I was playing? Huh. I was playing? Huh.